provide for your family. Stay home. Don't kick it with the friends all the time.
Yeah. All right,
And
brother.
that's all my 2 cents.
Yeah, that was more like 5 cents, but we'll take it.
Hey, we need all the change, right?
Yeah, we sure do. Hey, you know what, brother? I appreciate about you is that you're doing what you got to do to keep your family safe.
Thank you, Chris.
All right, take it easy, brother.
Total respect, man.
All right, 725. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people do feel. I don't know about a lot of people. I just, the way I look at it, it's like I'm not really in a hurry to feel sorry for politicians. I'm not. I'm sorry. This is what you wanted. You felt that you had what it took to lead the people, and anyone. I don't care if this governor, that governor, whatever. But when you step up and serve, you're stepping up to serve. There's no draft, right? We don't draft these people to run for office. Is it a tough job? Yeah, of course it is. But there's ways that you can make it easier. And I think it's high stakes too. You know what I mean? This is not just a procurement issue or what. It's high stakes. It's literally life and death. And so I feel like that's why people are more likely to come down a little harder, right, on what's going on. It's 7:25. Let's go and head over to the National Weather Service, Jason. Okay, Jason Solis. Good morning, my friend.
Yeah, so let's try and make sense of some, shall we say, easier problems to solve. Like, what the heck is going on with the weather, and who better to tap than the well of knowledge that is Landon Aydlett, speaking on behalf of himself and his team up there at the National Weather Service, where he's got a great shot up there at Tidjane. You saw the geodesic orbs, some of the really, really cool gear that NWS has to tell us what's going on with that tropical depression. So, Landon, what were you able to find out this morning? Because I know it's been quite the long 24 hours for you, man.
Yeah, it's been a super busy morning, and things are playing much as we were briefing and expecting yesterday to occur. 99W, the disturbance that we were watching yesterday, has been upgraded to a tropical depression. Now it's tropical depression 20W. That was upgraded overnight last night, much as we are expecting, and it's going to continue to intensify today and tonight as it makes its approach to the Mariana Islands, likely as a tropical storm at this time. So it's been a very busy morning as we're pulling in the latest information, the latest data. We'll be putting on our second public advisory no later than 8 o'clock this morning. There will be some changes to our posturing as far as watches and warnings and advisories that are in effect. So be looking for that at 8 o'clock. It's been a lot of coordination calls with the Homeland Security Office here on Guam, as well as and the CNMI, as things are evolving. And so one of the tricky parts with this tropical system was the very compressed timeline, as we were discussing yesterday. So this thing is right on our doorstep. It's developing, and we're waiting at the timeline of its development and organization. And so we have to wait for that process to occur and get organized before we can start making actual calls for watches and warnings. That organization did take place overnight, and it continues to get better organized today as it makes its approach. I do want to point out the trees. They were dead calm earlier this morning, just ahead of the heavy showers that swept over most of Guam this morning. This drainage pond filled up with water in about a 15-minute period. So that's indicative of the very moist tropical atmosphere we are in right now. So the rainfall will be increasing throughout the day across the island, but it's not going to be nonstop, widespread, steady rain. It's going to be coming in peaks and lows. So you're going to have periods of light rain, sprinkles or no rain, and then periods of heavy to torrential rainfall. And this is what happens in about a 15-minute period. We had some very heavy rainfall across central Guam. The winds are starting to pick up right now. They're very light here in Tidjane, but the stronger winds are found across Rota, Tinian, and Saipan. This is a very asymmetric wind field with this tropical depression. And a lot of the stronger winds are indeed displaced to the north of that low-level circulation. So I'm going to go into my office and show you what we're looking at in the satellite loops.
Yeah. So we've actually got your graphic up too, Landon. Joser's got it on camera right now. So, and the funny thing is, we've been getting a couple DMs about that, and people are like, "Wow, even though it only says right now the projected wind speed is around 30 miles per hour, it looks like." And you mentioned, it's coming towards the Marianas, but specifically, it looks like it's going to pass directly, go right through us.
Yeah, that's correct. And so we had beefed up our forecast yesterday to near tropical storm force intensity winds. We're going to bump those up just a little bit further later this morning to tropical storm force. So that's a difference of about 5 to 10 mile per hour wind speed. So it's not much of a difference in expectations for weather winds and season surf. It's just a slight bump up to meet these conditions based on the continued development of Tropical Depression 20W. So currently it's projected, the models have come into better alignment showing the low-level circulation, which I believe is right about here in this burst of new convection. I believe that is the low-level circulation. Once we get to more daytime behind us, we can get some visible satellite imagery. We can have a better feel for the low level at the surface, what this thing is circulating, where is that low-level circulation. That is key to this system. We're currently expecting it with the Joint Typhoon Warning Center to pass near or over Guam tonight. The thing to keep in mind is a very asymmetric system. So the stronger winds exist across the northern semicircle of this low-level circulation with the lighter, weaker winds to the south. So if 20W does pass through the Rota Channel today, the stronger winds will be up to the north and much lighter winds to the south. We won't see much action, but we will have to go into posturing because of its proximity to us, because that low-level storm environment as this thing evolves. So if it passes north, the weaker winds will be to the south, but you'll still see some winds and showers and thunderstorms throughout the day. So it's not going to be something you want to write off. This is something that you do want to be prepared for. Take precautions, plan for loose items, tents, tents, canopies, and tarps to be secured or taken down. This is the time to do it if you didn't do it yesterday, because this thing will be coming through the islands.
And of course, the concern as always is, and you just showed us that shot outside where you said there's that little mini ponding basin right next to those lovely coconut trees that filled up in like 15 minutes. And the concern is always for our friends and our family down south and everything in the areas where it tends to flood. That could get pretty nasty pretty quickly, right?
That's correct. And these things will evolve rapidly. Currently, we do have a flash flood watch. We issued that yesterday evening, as well as a rip current statement for a high risk of rip currents along east-facing reefs and beaches, and a small craft advisory for hazardous seas and surf and winds over the open waters. So we're going to see those conditions continue if the rainfall does fill in over our area, which is very likely later today. We could upgrade that to a flash flood warning. And of course, we always appreciate the phone calls, the messages on our social media, because we want to know what's happening in your area. We can look out the window, but we can't have eyes on the ground in Marito, for example. So any messages, comments on our Facebook page, we very much welcome that, because we want to know what's happening in your area for impacts and any kind of problem. So do talk to us, because social media is key. Communications is key with the system, and it's been a very complex system. And this is what I was hitting on yesterday in the heavy weather briefs. This is not going to be our traditional timeline of a watch at 48 hours and a warning at 24 hours, because this thing is developing right on our doorstep. So we were very much expecting the likelihood of a very compressed timeline. So do stay in touch with our webpage, weather.gov/GUM, for the latest as we update our information. Our next public advisory will be going out at 8 o'clock this morning, and there will be some changes to posturing for the islands of the Mariana Islands this morning in the 8 o'clock advisory. So stay tuned, be prepared, and things can develop rapidly. Those heavy showers, this torrential rainfall, locally heavy rain. We're looking at 2 to 4 inches, but locally higher amounts for some areas, depending on where that convection sets up with the islands. Again, it's a very asymmetric wind field. That is the key to this system. Those stronger winds exist across the northern half of this low-level circulation, but as this thing evolves, we're going to start seeing stronger winds wrap around the immediate low-level circulation. So don't write this one off, but this is not something that you really want to be overly stressed out and worried about. This is something that we plan for, we prepare for, and we expect this living in the tropics.
There you go. Well, and we can tell by your tone of voice, Landon, because you bring so much positivity and so much energy to the show under normal conditions and everything like that. So guys watching right now, if Landon's taking this seriously, that means you need to do too. So you were talking yesterday, Landon, some of the preparation materials, obviously loose objects outside the house, in the yard. If you've got a tarp or a tent set up and everything, and there you've got that shot of the projection again going like right through us and everything like that. Is there anything else people should do, outside of the normal, the tent, the extended house and everything like, getting ready for, like an outside cookout or something? How should they prepare?
Yeah, definitely don't plan any outdoor activities today.
Yeah.
Like I said, this is not going to be like a constant steady state showers, thunderstorms, and strong winds. It's going to be coming in peaks and lows. So you have your convection core, you have showers and thunderstorms, they'll pass over. And then like right now, we're going to be kind of in a lull of weather. So the winds will die down. But when those showers come over, that can bring in this much stronger wind gust that's 1,000, 2,000 feet above the surface, bring those stronger winds rapidly down to the surface. So you have to be ready for that. Keep an eye to the sky, especially to the east and northeast, as the saying does continue to approach us, that you take shelter accordingly, that you're not caught off guard outside. I would not recommend hiking today. Creeks and streams will fill up rapidly. As you saw, our drainage pond, that filled up pretty quick in about a 10-minute period. So the rainfall will come down pretty heavily. We've had incipient rainfall yesterday and today, so the soils are fairly saturated. So any rainfall that comes down in a heavy rate will become standing water and rapidly moving currents of water in streets, streams, rivers, and valleys. Right. So do keep that in mind. A flash flood watch is in effect, and that could be upgraded to a warning at any time over the next 24 hours. So yeah. So I'll write this one off. This one will be coming. It's going to be passing over or very near Guam tonight. So just be prepared.
And now the question on everybody's mind before, the question on everybody's mind before I let you go, because I've not spoken to you since you had your weather briefing yesterday, but the question was posed, with situations being what they are, has there been any indication that the governor and or the military might consider upgrading the condition of readiness and everything? You were saying last night, because of the situation, the governor was briefed and she felt at the time, this was civil defense saying it, that she didn't feel any need to do that, but seeing how things have evolved a little bit, has there been any change with those discussions?
Yeah, to my knowledge, there's no change, but I have been talking to the Homeland Security Office, both Guam and CNMI this morning. So we're going to be doing some briefings coming up in the next hour or so. So stand by, keep your ears open, but maintain your own personal level of preparedness and precautions. This is where we take that self-responsibility and accountability to be prepared for ourselves. But stay up to date. That's the key thing. Stay up to date, because information will be coming rapidly and frequently, as is the case with tropical systems. And again, this is a compressed timeline, so this is not something you want to just relax and check back in on 12 hours later, because things will evolve. Things are moving through, and we are maintaining our near tropical storm force conditions in our forecasts. We bumped things up yesterday to meet these expected conditions, and we'll probably beef them up just a little bit more to match the tropical storm force conditions expected. Again, this is not a typhoon. We're looking at a tropical storm passing through the islands tonight, but not a severe tropical storm, not a typhoon.
Landon,
and I think we just had a small earthquake here. So if you felt that little jolt, it was just a small one.
not like we need anything else to worry about.
I know. Landon, you talked at the beginning. You talked a little bit about the changing the posture of your watches and warnings. Is that what you mean by it coming a little more frequently with the info?
That's correct. So once we issue a watch or warning for any of the islands, the frequency of information is going to dramatically increase. So we've already beefed up staffing here yesterday evening. So we have all hands on deck. Coming at 8 o'clock, we're going to get things rolling. So watch our social media, watch our webpage, weather.gov/GUAM. Click on those pink banners. That's where you're going to see the most information, the most up-to-date. So our social media is not always the most up-to-date information, but this is where you want to find everything that's routinely updated as we transmit it. So flash flood watch, rip current statement, small craft advisory, any of the pink and green colors and the pink banners down here. This is where we're going to have the updated information. Click on the latest for Tropical Depression 20W, kick that link, and you'll be finding our text bulletins and our graphics in this box. So this will be updated routinely, our public advisories every 3 hours and our graphics every 6 hours. So this is where the information is going to be flowing, and then subsequently to our social media page.
And I am throwing all of your links in our comments right now, just so everybody knows. Here's all the URLs that Landon was talking about, so you guys can bookmark those. We do, they're a really good source of how we plan out our day here when we bring you on and everything. So we appreciate it, man.
Thank you, Landon.
Absolutely. Thank you both.
Okay, we'll see you. And obviously, keep following the stations at KUAM and our social media networks, and right here on the link to get the latest information.
Well, Chris Cave said there. He said he in fact felt a earthquake too, and he's down in PD at the port.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you feel it? I didn't feel anything.
I felt something.
Did you shift in your seat a little bit?
I felt a little, but I don't know, because I haven't had my empanada this morning, so it could have been a stomach growl. I don't know.
Did you feel anything? Oh, Joseph said he.
No, we're not supposed to feel anything, Jay. We're supposed to get used to it. We're going to take a quick break, and let's go check out Customs We got the head of customs, Ike Pareto, coming up here on the link next. It's Thursday.